If you grew up building cars in video games like Forza and you're ready to start doing the same thing with a real car, you need to understand that things do not work the same way they did in Forza. There's a lot of differences to building a car in the game versus real life. So I'm going to highlight the main things that you need to be aware of so that you can build a car that you can actually enjoy. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is maintenance cost because games do not cover this. Now, when a car costs less to maintain, you're more willing to drive it more often and have more fun with it. So this is really important. The lighter the car, usually the cheaper it is to maintain. Brakes are going to be cheaper, tires are going to be cheaper. Every mod that you do to the car is probably going to be cheaper with a smaller engine car that weighs lighter. And then from brand to brand, some mechanical parts might be a lot cheaper and more reliable than others, so make sure you keep this in mind. Because if one car's track day maintenance costs $600 whereas another car's costs $100, how often are you really going to want to push that $600 maintenance car? Okay, but now onto the actual building part. Video games do not cover temperatures as much as they should be, and I'm talking temperature of the car itself. In a game like Forza, you can just add all the power upgrades to the car and it works fine. That's not realistic. You cannot do that because every time you add power to the car, every component of the car is going to heat up a lot faster. And the more heat, the less reliable everything gets. And I'm not just talking about the engine, I'm talking about the transmission, the differential, your brakes, because you're going to be accelerating faster on straightaways and you have to use more braking power to stop your car. In fact, brakes might be the most troublesome part of your car. It was for my Infiniti. So overall, you need to build the car to be able to run, not just push power out of it to get to certain numbers. The car needs to run for you to have fun. So when you add bigger power, you're going to need bigger cooling. I'm talking oil coolers. In fact, oil cooler was the first thing I ever did to my Infiniti before literally anything else. I just wanted to prepare myself for the long run. And then brakes. Brakes aren't really a mod to make your braking performance better. I mean, they might in some ways. Video games get this wrong. Brakes are upgraded in order to handle more heat. If the brakes are too small and your pads and fluids are meant for the street, they're going to overheat in a performance environment and cause you very bad issues that could be very dangerous for you. So brakes are kind of a requirement for an upgrade, not really just something that you do if you want to brake faster. I don't know why Forza does that. But at the same time, if you overheat your brakes that can't handle the heat, they aren't going to be able to stop the car once they glaze over and you lose that effective friction. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is aerodynamics is so broken in games like Forza. Forza teaches you that if you add an aero element to a car, it does increase downforce and does make your car faster. That's just not how it works. And people really grow up thinking that this is how it works, even in real life. So the most common example being adding a wing to your car always makes it perform better around the track because of that extra downforce, and that's just not true. If you don't add front downforce or you don't have some kind of front downforce element to balance out the aero from the rear, you're actually going to cause your front tires to lift up a little bit and create a lot of understeer and have worse handling. So video games don't teach you that you need aerodynamic balance. If you add a wing to the rear, you need downforce in the front, at least in the same realm of the wing, so that you're not crazy understeering or oversteering. Now, there's probably so much more that I could go on about in terms of upgrading your car in games versus real life, but let me know if this is something that you guys are actually interested in, or if you have a specific topic that you want me to cover.